And if he did, this was his choice. You did not put a gun to his head and make him eat 5 triple burgers, or whatever it was, the fry boxes and the milkshake.
Right.
I think you sleep soundly at night. The real question is why? Why was he taken out like this? I think there's no credence to what you're suggesting. I think it's impossible. And you're a good kid, and I'm glad you're watching. I'm glad you're paying attention. You understand that the rest of the world is lying to you, and we need this new generation, Gen Alpha. Is that what you are?
I would call myself that, yes, sir.
What kind of music do you listen to?
I listen to some Train. I listen to Puddle of Mud.
Where do you get your news from? You're going to get it entirely from InfoWars now?
Yes, sir. I've been watching you for quite a while here lately, and I really like the show. And is it true that there was pepper cheese all over the interior of the car afterward?
I can't confirm. We don't know that. We don't have access to that information, okay? I just want you to sleep easy at night. Go talk to your mommy and your daddy and tell them that, you didn't kill nobody, okay?
Yes, sir. Okay.
All right. Stay in school and learn and be a good person. That's all. That's what we need in this world. And do right by the Lord.
Okay. Thank you.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, let us go to the phone lines right now. I got Tim calling from Ohio. Tim, what's on your mind?
How you doing? You doing good? Everything all right?
Everything's fine. What can I do for you, sir? We don't have a lot of time here, so please get your question, your comment quickly.
Yeah, okay. Well, I just want to say that everybody is, you're talking about how Alex is dead and there's a new Alex. And I just want you to know that's old news. People know that shit. People already know that stuff. So that's old stuff. I've known that for years.
All right. Well, no, that's not the way I interpret it, sir. You had prior knowledge of this. This is something that you're saying you had access to, this information.
Oh yes. This is common knowledge. This is A, B, C, D, E, F, G.
No. This is not a common knowledge. This is breaking news. We're getting to this first. We had the video evidence that he imploded or exploded about a month ago, and prior to that, we believe that he had just existed as a normal man. But you have evidence that to the contrary.
Yes, a lot of people with me with deep knowledge like this already know this and know this forever, so nothing shocking here. Alex is basically a character who gets replaced, like James Bond or Bozo the Clown. I mean, essentially, we're talking about the same line as Bozo, with like Pinto starting it, and then Larry Livingston creating it, and then you're having Willard Scott become Bozo. Now you have David Arquette being Bozo. This is just Bozo.
It's not Bozo. I reject that, sir. I don't think you have the evidence. I don't think you have the clarity to understand what you're talking about here. I think you're out of line. What we found here is there was one Alex Jones. We have evidence on that. We have genetic materials to prove that. And then we have this incident that happened, a singular incident. This is not a pattern. I believe in patterns. I believe that things repeat themselves over time. But, sir, I think you're chasing down the wrong rabbit hole here.
I mean, you should just go back and look at the different Alexes. You'll notice that it's, again, I hate to keep saying this, but it's Bozo. It's Bozo the Clown.
It's not Bozo the Clown. I reject that. But look, you got evidence that he's Bozo the Clown, or is following a similar pattern of James Bond.
I'm not saying he's Bozo. He's definitely not Bozo. That's a different line. Of course, that's a different line. That's its own thing that's parallel. But
I understand. Yeah. Now, I understand you're making an analogy to the various bozos that have played Bozo the Clown over the years, or Superman, or even Batman. You had Michael Keaton playing him, Adam West, of course, and George Clooney.
That's different. Yeah. That's different than Bozo, I feel like. But yes,
it's not different. Go ahead.
They're saying that Bozo's saying that is the same Bozo. Batman is saying, okay, this is a new Batman with a different guy doing it. This Bozo, they're trying to say that's all one Bozo.
Yeah.
They're not saying, hey, there's a new Bozo.
I concede that point. Continue.
Yeah, so I'm just saying, in the circles I run in, we've known this forever, and we've seen bozos die the same way you guys found, some evidence on Alex.
All right. Well, so you saying you know more than me on this?
Yes,
and all the work we do, all my team, all the people that have come together to do the hard work on this, my forensics expert, Dr. Reeve, everybody like that, they know more than you, and yet you don't provide any evidence. So I think you're the one that's full of shit.
I am not full of shit, and I will not be told this. That I am full of shit. I reject that.
All right. Well, you can do whatever you want, but this is my show, and I'm running this. And for you to come on here and say that this is just one of many Alex Jones, I think is misleading my audience, and I reject it. If you can provide some evidence that there was an Alex Jones from 1994, 2001, are you saying the Alex Jones that broke the story about the World Trade Center being a hoax, that this guy is not the Alex Jones that exploded?
Yeah, no, you're talking 4 back. You're talking 4 or 5 back is what you're talking about. And you can usually tell by certain creases in the face. If you study the face.
Oh, we studied the face.
We studied the face. So we're hot now.
How close can you get into the face? Because the face is a map.
Henry here.
Everyone's face is a map of what their history
And
is.
this is TECHNOPOVERTY, hijacked by InfoWars. I just hope we get the reveal that Alex Jones is Bill Hicks.
Because they actually have completely different lines.
Folks, let me know how the levels are.
If you're so smart on this, and we'd love to have you on again sometime to explain a little bit more about where you're coming from, because frankly, it's news to me, and I'm open. I got an open mind. Okay, so I want to make sure that if this is if you're onto something here, we want to hear more about it. All right.
Yeah, I would be glad to come back, and I would be glad to do a little bit more research myself to make sure I had some things to say that could prove my point better. But I'm telling you, I know it in my gut. I know this stuff.
And your name is Tim. And what's your background? What's your expertise? And what do you do for a living?
I live in Toledo, Ohio, and I make tools.
All right. Well, thank you, sir. And you're the reason this country's still humming, and you're the backbone of America. And I appreciate all the work you do.
I appreciate that so much. And if you ever see a tool out there, every single one I make, I put a little bit of slash in the handle of it, so you know that it was made by me, Tim from Toledo. I make a slash in all my tools.
You got slashes all over them tools. All right.
Barney,
thank you so much, Tim, and all the best. Isn't that? I like this guy. Jason, make sure he's on the hotline so he calls in again. We can get more information on the many Alex Jones.
We have to be very precious with her. We just had pest people come around.
We'll be right back after this break.
I know, and you want to try to find snacks.
I'm retired Sheriff Dominic Batter. Did you know that over 1 million Americans aren't getting enough pure oxygen? Oxygen is a critical gas for emotional stability
or a fake
and vein health.
I'm so excited.
Pure O capsules contain 100% uncontaminated oxygen, guaranteeing optimal absorption and mind maximization. Just 1 dose will give you enough oxygen to stop breathing for 1 full hour. Save time and unlock the true potential of your lungs with Pure O from InfoWars.
We're really experimenting with form tonight.
All right, folks, if you're just joining us, news breaking today on Emergency. Alex Jones dead. Passed away 2 months ago, May 1st, 2026. More on this as we get more information. We'll be exploring this story in depth, get to the answers of how and why and who is the imposter right now on Alex Jones' life. I want you as info warriors to get out there and spread the message, spread the word that that this news is being suppressed. We're the only ones you can trust right now. And let the world know that the real Alex Jones is dead, and that we will find the truth as to who the imposter is. So make sure you use social media and all the various methods of communication, email, text, and all the rest. Join InfoWars here on our social media and support us in every way you can. I want to just give a final thought here as we approach the Independence Day of July 4th. America turning 250 years old, big America 250 celebrations wherever we go. I gave this some thought, and there's a lot of research backing this up right now, but I guess the way to begin this is to say we're familiar with the ancient civilization known as the Phoenicians. Phoenicians are an ancient civilization from the Mediterranean region, 5,000, 6,000 BC, all the way up to about 200 BC. Big thing about the Phoenicians, they were responsible for our modern alphabet. The origins of our alphabet, the way we speak, the way we communicate, the way we write, begins with the Phoenicians. First of all, we believe that the Phoenicians did not disappear, that they were not conquered by the Romans, that they disappeared in a sense, but they went underground and found secret canals, secret tunnels, secret pathways to the underworld, to hell, and have been living in hell in communion with the demons and Satan. And establishing a super order, which also is a pathway up to the top levels of control and government. So the reason I bring them up and how it pertains to the July 4th is on July 4th, 1776, the founding fathers, so-called founding fathers, sat down, wrote the Declaration of Independence. Now, Declaration of Independence is based on letters of the English language, which have evolved over time as a handwritten document on parchment. It's a document of ideas by the founding fathers, but it's also a document literally made up of letters, which, when you put them together, do form words. We know through our research that there are 1,320 words in the Declaration of Independence. And so you look at the year 1320, you want to add together that number with July 4th, 7-4, which turns out to be 11.
The goal is to have as many
cameras
as
we took a look at this, and you can look there, that's the year 1331. Now,
it's like that
a couple
one
notable
scene
things in the year 1331. We have the big one is this is the first recorded outbreak of the Black Death plague. Okay, and so there's other ways to do this, other ways to skin this cat. I think if you look at the number of words in the Declaration of Independence, we are finding messages sent through time, perhaps from a past period, or down from the gates of hell, communicated up from the Phoenicians, who, as I said earlier, are still running the show. Still, basically, if you want to get to the top of the top, who's commanding the commanders? You're looking at the Phoenicians, who are still with us and have never left. They've been controlled. They're the ones that brought us the Black Death. And so as we get together and get our hot dogs and grills and wave our American flags and light our sparklers,
in the lead
remember
up to this. Is he
all we're celebrating is a communication, is a code
I think they may have like loose
that we need to be open
outlines.
to. And always remember that the Black Death is on its way. Because the Phoenicians, the patterns that they've established over the millennium, several millennium, it reminds us that all we have to do is look under our nose to find the answers. And when we wave that American flag, never forget that we are under their control, and they control our mind. If you want to break from that cycle, you want to escape from their power, their clutch. Join us every week as we look into these mysteries. We try to solve the mysteries of who's running the show and why we are where we are. So join us next week on Emergency, and stay tuned for more information. That's all for now. Happy Independence Day. I'm not going to be celebrating because I'm not under the clutches of the Phoenicians from hell.
Nice, I got a second. Oh, cool. I have a full upgrade to my house. That appears to be it? All right. For Barney.
Katy Perry is a bisexual devil worshiper.
What is this? Barney. Her cam? I do not have a USB-C for it.
Is turning your piss into gold really worth it?
How did we do it last time? We fed it through the Steam Deck into a big ninja.
That sound is Yoshi's way of saying the N-word.
AJ had a small gift for you.
Oh, cool. From sick to
right, I'm going to pause.
Anson's frosting is thick and fluffy in a way that makes...
This seems to be the outro. All right, I had completely did not realize that was going to be going at the time, so happy to catch that. Thanks for the heads up, chat. Completely destroyed whatever preloaded RAM I had for tonight's session as far as talking about the Crying Lot 49. But hello, I'm Henry.
I'm Jacob.
And welcome back to TechnoPoverty, where we bounce games off of books, books off of games, and mix them up with you in the chat while talking about the contemporary in culture and just shit happening in the world. We will get around to talking about Thomas Pynchon's The Crying of Lot 49, a book I finished yesterday. But for now, I'm jamming on the vibes of the furry goat platformer. Jacob, this is Pseudo-Regalia. I'll tell you more about that once you get the Barney Cam set up.
Okay.
Ja, I'm gonna circle around. I have a bunch of highlighted sections and quotes as I usually do. The InfoWars thing took me off guard, but we'll get to it after break time probably. I do have two big kind of like cool questions. I don't think there's definite answers to, but I think they're good they're good posts, they're good temp-holes to throw up to talk about the rest of everything for tonight from. And that's going to be, why do you think, Ja, John, I'm talking to you because you've made it known that you finished the book and you do have theories on this, and I want you to know.
Sorry, still working on stuff.
Who is the phantom? Who is the book guy? Who is the book call guy who Oedipa goes into the auction waiting for? Do you think that's ambiguous, or do you think it's Cohen? Because I think it's Cohen. Second thing, why do you think Inverarity put Oedipa in as executor? Why her? Why did he choose her? I think there's a very blunt reason I'll talk about later, but just those two questions, I think from there we can work a good exploration of the Crying of Lot 49. Not in the way that we say unlock a puzzle. I'm not trying to puzzle piece like Cinema Sins logic our way out of this book, but I think those two questions, they kind of crack open just nervous systems of interpretation.
Sorry guys.
When you start digging into it.
Sorry about that, crew. That's hilarious.
But right now, I gotta backtrack with my goat lady. Oh. Didn't notice that before. Cool. Jump while sliding. Okay. Hell yeah. Excellent. Oh, you know what? Okay, yes, you can do the long jump and the wall hop out of it. Backtracking paid off, chat. Alright, let's get back up top, because there's still more backtracking to be done. Also, I don't know what's up with the purple orbs yet.
Oh, hell yeah, 325. I won't be satisfied until I can stream your entire room in VR.
Yeah, how's that Barney Cam coming?
You know, it is about to be live. Excellent.
Are you about to send it my way?
Yes.
Oh, I hear it. Okay.
Let's go. Brainstorming. There we go.
Oh, you know what? I can probably just do this. Oh. Yeah. Yeah. they should be aiming the other way. Jacob, this is pseudo-regalia. As you can see, I'm a hopping goat lady. Chat, do you hear the echo, or is that just me?
Let's see, it might be just us, but let me...
Oh.
That's right. Oh yeah, because you have the Barney cam saved, right?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So I should have just cut the audio for that guy. So hopefully. Okay, cool. Yeah, they didn't hear an echo. That was just on our end.
Oh yeah, there it is.
Beautiful.
Boom. We have Barney cam.
Jeez, cozy.
All right, we have our furry goat protagonist. We have our furry channel mascot. We're playing. Cool. Cool. So Jacob, I don't know what the story to this game is. I just came out of a mirror in a dungeon and I'm exploring a castle. What this game really is just an excuse to do a lot of parkour. Like, it has really solid platforming mechanics.
Yeah.
Oh, but check this out. So the sword I have, you do fight things with the sword. You can throw it, right? But you can also drop it. And when you drop it, you can't attack and you have to retrieve it when an enemy knocks it out of your hands.
Oh, dang.
But you also use it to heal, like, and you get that magic meter to heal charge by hitting things. So it's a real cool economy of like, you beat dudes up to charge your magic meter, you use your magic to heal.
Oh, hell yeah.
Just hold on to your sword and you'll be good.
I like those
It's a pretty good, yeah. All right.
Incentivizes you to like keep going.
How do I get higher? But yeah, she has a little wall kick. You can also go into first person mode.
Whoa, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Hell yes.
But like, it doesn't have a solid guiding plot. You really are just exploring the castle. Best I can tell from this little inventory here, each area has a key. I have to find the big key in each zone, and there's 5 pieces of the castle.
Oh yeah.
We weren't going Meisner.
Were we not?
All right, from this high point, let's see if we can figure out why is this ledge here.
Oh yeah.
I'm supposed to get up there, I suspect, but I don't know how. There seems to be something glowing up there. How though? How?
The party cam, 1 sec. We gotta bring the power cord over as well. I guess we gotta power this thing, I suppose. Wait, I have it over here already.
Oh.
Dun-dun-dun.
Found a little secret portal.
So we're getting the party cam ready to go again. Apologies. All of Barney's adoring fans, we apologize.
No, nothing there? Okay. Huh.
Oh, sorry, Barney.
Man, we also watched Happiness earlier today, and I was like, oh, there's so many ways we can tie this into both Crank of Lot 49 and Pseudoregalia.
What a crazy movie. What a great...
Yeah, great. For those unaware, Dylan Barker is the patriarch of just the most idyllic American family in Happiness. Just the Norman Rockwell postcard picture of a family. He's also he also sexually predates children.
Yeah.
The movie's darkly uncomfortable with this, but like in an excellent way. Why am I bringing up this uncomfortable movie? Because it plays with form in decentralizing its narrative in a way that permits it to have a pederast character and not be an endorsement of that character.
Yeah.
And not like a moralizing, like, didactic sense either. Like, it doesn't ever have to be preachy of it, but you know by the end of the movie, by the way the tone and the arc of everything has fallen, like, this is an awful character.
It does a really good job, too, of interweaving, like, because of other stories being funny, you understand the tone in which a lot of, like, how to take things.
Yes, and that's precisely why I wanted to talk about it in relation to The Crying of Lot 49. Jacob, I suggest you check out The Crying of Lot 49 sometime. It's only 150 pages.
Oh, really?
It's from 1966. It is about this woman, Oedipa Maas. She gets a phone call one day. An ex of hers, turns out he became a super big real estate mogul and like did a bunch of investing out in this suburb of LA called San Narciso. And then he died, and for some reason she's executor of his will. So she gets to fly out to this suburb that he lived in and was like doing a bunch of investment in, and it's like a weird company town for a aerospace engineering company.
Okay.
And she has no idea why he assigned her this. But because of his stamp collection, among many other things he invested in and collected and had an interest in the area, she stumbles onto what appears to be a conspiracy of some kind of alternate anarchist post-mail system, or an alternate private libertarian post-mail system, an alternative to the U.S. Postal Service that may or may not be part of a conspiracy going back hundreds of years, if not the entire millennia.
Okay. That sounds
and the thing
pretty
is,
great.
I think Pynchon shotguns you with so many characters in ways where people can, like, if they're trying to strictly track the plot, get a little lost because they're trying to like just maintain a certain narrative momentum where it's like, no, it's more about like what do these like characters you constantly get shotgunned with have in common, like what's like thematically resonant there, like what's the overall kind of like narrative bubble they're floating in, what's the idea, what's the intent beyond just like plot point A to plot point B.
Yeah. Okay, yeah.
In the same way that Happiness, again, I talk about the pedophile father, who is an organizing pillar of the story, but you get a whole story about his sister-in-law, his wife, their kids,
the mother-in-law.
There's just an entire, again, nervous system of intent. What am I doing in this room?
How everyone's lives are connected in very small ways, but in such profound ways. And also, people just being perverts.
Right. Yeah. So that's the thing, too. So I am going to go back and read excerpts and do the usual intro thing I do, maybe at break time. But to get down to it, there's a huge question throughout of, is there actually a conspiracy theory Oedipa's stumbled onto, or is she just going paranoid? And not even necessarily in an intentionally malicious paranoid way. Like, is she seeing things and are people being nice to her in ways that enable her to like indulge these fantasies? Because basically every man she runs into at some point tries to have sex with her.
Yeah.
And while it's a funny punchline, it also does bring into question, were they just like, saying whatever to her, because both her ex, that she's the executor of the will of, like she now owns like his estate, like if I'm nice to her, but also she's pretty, I want to have sex with her if I'm nice to her. So there's that element of it. She gets caught up in exploring, again, this postal system, and this postal system links together all kinds of perverts and countercultural types, subcultural types, people who may not be using the regular US postal system.
Yeah.
So it's an excuse for the novel to really funnel a lot of different types in.
That's like a really fun kind of like mechanism for that. Why not both?
Why not both?
Oh, how about adding a tiny YouTube to the left of Barney in the void?
A tiny YouTube? What is Barney dreaming of?
Oh fuck, that would actually be really funny. Listen, we're just constantly gonna have things on the screen.
Okay, navigate this room.
We'll become Brain Rot TV. Oh damn. Damn you, Gar.
Ever since I learned you can do that downward jump, things have been a little easier. And there's something between this Crying Lot 49 and Happiness I also like, which is the very good show don't tell. There's very little explaining or cutscenes going on to guide or direct me. It's mostly look at the levels, use your character's mobility to figure out what you can and can't do. Mm-hmm. Like, damn, I just entered this space, this very Dark Souls 1, where I just came back to a space I hadn't been before, but when I came through I was down there, now I'm up here. But that show don't tell principle, I think about the John Lovett's opening scene to Happiness, where those two broke up without it being explicitly told to you, or there being no narrator to
to confirm,
impose it on you. Yeah. Ooh, what's gonna happen? Okay, cool. Because the questions I asked Ja earlier are, was there a natural reason he put her in the will? And did this person she dread was going to show up? Basically, at the end of the novel, the stamp collection, that's been the source of so much grief for her, because in the stamp collection, there are these counterfeits with this weird symbol on it, which turn out to be the alleged symbol of this alleged, secret mail service that's existed throughout history. Told about in a play she saw one night that happened to have a similar story about bones and ashes to a story she discovers talking to all these characters in which the bones of soldiers from World War II are ground up and eventually find their way into cigarette filters.
Ooh. Yeah.
And see, there's a greater metaphor at play there where it's like, oh yeah, the glories of 20 years ago, World War II, have just been grounded into charnel for the consumer consumption thing. But that's not the part that concerns her. She's wondered, well, why is it that this convoluted story sounds like this other convoluted story? There's a great sense throughout of her getting caught up in tinfoil hat conspiracy shit that maybe ultimately is just not there.
Ooh, okay. That's actually a really fun to play with the character.
Close to Lot 49 design? Yeah. Yeah, Ja, that's what I want to bring up with the Lot 49 stuff, because in the same way that... So in Happiness, we talk about the John Lovett scene, and you talk about characters doing stuff, saying one thing, doing another.
Yeah,
so
doing the
there
exact
being visual hypocrisies.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's that sense of play and asking the viewer to interpret, which option do you go with? What do you think?
Totally, because a lot of the characters, I think, there's the woman who killed their night doorman. is like very explicitly saying like I did this but didn't do this, and then like through later you hear a character talking about the situation like very clearly. It's like, well, this woman's lying. So then you're thinking back to like, well, what else did she say? What else was she lying
She might
about?
be a serial killer. Yeah.
Like, so like was the story she even said that like her, you know, why she killed him, was that actually the reason, or was she just crazy? It's so fun. I was gonna say another good example of that too is like True Detective, whenever they're going over like what happened whenever they find the kids like stuffed in the truck or whatever. They're like,
which season?
The first season. Whenever they're talking about like the drug setup, or like whenever they're staking out the drugs, and they're like, all right, we were shooting all these guys. It's very clearly like nothing is happening.
They're shooting up at the sky and stuff. Is that the part you're talking about?
No. Whenever they go to the meth house with the two guys who are like, what is it? Doing meth, but where they find the kids in the back of the truck, and Marty kills one of the drug dealers. It's basically they're trying to cover everything up, but they've rehearsed this story so many times where they tell official people that it goes exactly to the opposite.
I vaguely remember that. Damn.
It's so good. It was a great example of just like they're doing nothing like what they're saying right now. This is like, okay, but they're like, oh, this is why they're lying. I see what they're trying to cover up, and then it's like, well, it's kind of justified to a degree because he's a horrible monster. Great stuff.
Yeah, so that sense of interpretive play I bring up because all three cases are like, it's beyond the one literalisms of the story. It's asking, it's inviting interpretation, it's inviting read, it's inviting play. I think Pynchon works very well in video games, maybe better than some. I honestly don't know. Does he have film adaptations beyond the P.T. Anderson ones? Because I liked one better off the other, but it was quite conventional. I think Inherent Vice is the other way, where it leans too much into the Pynchonian stuff. I've been through here, haven't I? Pull on a narrative thread by riffing on any connection possibility. When the reader is searching for meaning, they will grip at any change of thread. So, I have questions for you on this, because to me, so Jacob, at the end of the book, Lot 49, the lot the stamps are part of, it's going up for auction. And there's a phantom bidder, or like a phone bidder, that's not going to show up in person, that she believes might be part of this shadowy government alternate male organization, who knows what. And so she goes to the auction at the end because she gets word that they're going to show up. And the book kind of ends with her sitting there waiting and waiting and waiting. And that's kind of like the crying of Lot 49 begins. Or at least that's how some seem to read it. There's a part right before she goes in. She meets this guy, his name's Cohen. He's been helping her sort the stamps and like figure things out with the affairs throughout the book. He's like an expert in stamps. He shows up and he's like, I hope it's not a conflict of interest that I'm here. And she's like, nah. And she kind of nods that off. For some reason, I don't know, in my read of the thing, Cohen's the book person. Like, he just didn't want like her to freak out or think that he was working against her, so he kept himself anonymous. Which is also why at the end he's just asking her like, hey, is it cool that I'm here? And I think she just doesn't even like let it click because she'd rather live in the
live in the lie or the...
Yeah, the delusion or the paranoia. Or not that she'd rather live in it, but that she's been lost to it by this point, because there's actually some stuff I have to say on that in regards to how good this book is at recognizing the way structures and social conditioning stuff gets people paralyzed. Better than Kierkegaard, I'll say that. I'll bring up the Kierkegaard relation in a moment. I just shortcutted this room. All right. Oh, there's a little key. There's a little key. See, this is what happens when I watch InfoWars and don't read the excerpts first. There's an excerpt I'll get to, just when Oedipa goes to a college campus among her various wonders. See, that's the cool thing, too. I don't have to explain to you, like, the causal flow of the plot. Like, I've given you the whole general outline, and now you feel like, yeah, there's one point in her exploration where this happens. She goes to a college campus, and it's the 60s, and she's thinking back to her time in the 50s, and she realizes culturally she's just not built for, like, protest or walk-ins, and she's only been built to, like, chase puzzles and, like, solve the mysteries of, like, Renaissance plays, which is what she's chasing.
That's so funny.
It's very Under the Silver Lake coded.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh shit. Live in the delusion. Yes, Jerry.
Because I do think. Also, Joe, let me know if you had any thoughts or theories on why she was the one to be listed as executor. I think at some point Inverosity and Metzger were talking, and Inverosity was like, "Oh, Metzger wants to bang her, so I'll give him a shot." I really think that may be it, if that matters at all, because of the way Metzger. So Metzger is a lawyer she meets up with when she first arrives in the suburb, and he's also part of the estate. It's like her and Metzger are co-executors. And she starts an affair with Metzger. And after they have sex, Metzger says something along the lines of like, or like she asks Metzger, like, what did he tell me about you? Or what did he say about me to you? And Metzger's just like, he said you wouldn't be easy. So like, I just assumed like Inverarity was helping Metzger hook up with this chick they were talked about at some point.
Okay.
Which again gets straight down to maybe the Oedipal of Oedipa, but I think really just, you know me, I think the libidinal rules a lot of what people do.
I think I'm with you on that.
Yeah, oh man, what a thing to say. Actually, can I just... Okay, yeah, there's something there. But last stream, I described a lot of Pynchon's work as... In Pynchon, I get a sense of this mid-century concept of like, what if we're building a maze we don't even really know the way out of with like the way our economic and social structures are going? And this is kind of, within the Crying of Lot 49, it mirrors out in the way that like, she's trying to manage, you know, the estate of her dead ex-boyfriend, but like he was a weird fucking megalomaniacal entrepreneur land speculator dude who like, it's like, imagine the villain from Chinatown dying and you have to deal with his fucking like affairs.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Ooh, fuck.
Yeah. And it's one of those things where like, I think about like how Elon Musk is so cringe about shit like memes and Rocco's Basilisk that like, say Elon Musk were to die and you had to deal with all his shit and like, because he's a stupid fucking like internet brain rotted idiot, like he just has some like chain of Pepes, like he has some Pepe meme code that you just have to figure out to decipher his shit. So even if it's like, this doesn't mean anything, like what if you started looking at those Pepes and it's like, well, historically Pepe meant this and this and this, and like, is there a conspiracy of Pepe, yada yada, like,
yeah,
just the endless rabbit hole. Like it's like trying to figure out who made the cool S.
Yeah, God. Jerry, my interpretation goes meta. Rather than the auction revealing more information, Pynchon as author has the buy now option. He buys the ending of the story. The book is the author's joke about writing for an audience that tries to find meaning in everything.
Yeah, yeah.
Hell yeah.
I think the closest we get to the truth of what's going on is when Oedipa's thinking about what Inverarity would say about like his business affairs and stuff, and he's just like, just keep it bouncing, keep it bouncing. Like there's no actual meaning. Like he's just like, what do I invest in next? How do I keep the money flowing? Like what's the next one? What's the next one?
The next thing.
How do I turn my crypto into AI? How do I turn my AI into tokens? How do I turn my tokens into some other bullshit?
Fucking fungible tokens.
Right, what's the next one? What about these apes?
Man, what a stupid time when people were buying
Nice.
JPEGs.
That was some schmovement. I should probably be keeping better track of like a map. But nah.
Nah, just go with the vibes. Served you well so far.
Yeah, see, it's like there's such low amounts of like combat, except now I'm stuck over here. Fuck, okay. I schmovement myself into this, I can schmovement myself out of it. Is there an exit around here somewhere? No, okay. So I'm going to need to dash, jump, kick, hit, maybe that guy over there? Let's see.
Oh, I gotta return my videotape to the video store tonight, guys.
All right, I got this.
Physical media. Did you see that about PlayStation announcing they're not going to be doing physical discs? After
So long video games.
Yeah.
They were a 45-year-old social experiment. It was a 45-year running social experiment run by hardware companies. Studies now over, boys. Wrap it up.
Wrap it up. Now that memory is near impossible to buy, games are going to be digital. It'll be great. Maybe you own it.
Yeah,
Maybe you
jazz writing. I blame Rockstar.
Oh yeah, what are they doing too? I forgot. Oh yeah, with their whole like no physical disc for the first month of the game.
For GTA 6?
Yeah. They're selling the case with the card inside that has a digital download. Everyone's like, well, we want the disc. That's like the whole. The thing about video games is it's really fun.
I did see a depressing tweet from, I call them tweets, but it's on Blue Sky. I don't go on Twitter.
Stop digging.
Basically, a software dev posted on Blue Sky about how without any kind of preservation, like a lot of the mobile games they worked on in the tens are just like offline and gone.
Oh yeah. Dude, all the Adult Swim games, which apparently Adult Swim, Cartoon Network games and all of their old games, like on the website, that was like the one place where kids could actually go games. I mean, there would not be like, have like that creepy old Nickelodeon man trying to like.
The creepy old Nickelodeon man.
Yeah, I forget his name.
Face?
Yes. Face is a pedophile.
Was Face on Epstein's list?
Face was on the island. No, Face. Don't do that.
You're talking about Gullah Gullah Island, right?
God, no! Man. Dude, it was actually, man, I watched a wonderful YouTube video about the
Hot
history
take,
of Gullah
enough
Gullah
video in
Island.
future generations will AI reverse engineer a game. GTA has so many hours of vid online. I mean, they've tried it with Doom and it's not really worked.
Right. I'd be so curious.
Okay, I'm doing some extreme backtracking. Because I
fucked up somewhere along the way.
So yeah, so I need to get the big key from each area. I got a lot of mobility. I don't think there's anything back here I can really grab.
Yeah. Oh man, has anyone bought any great games off of all the sales that have been happening? Got PlayStation sales, got Steam sales. Or is anyone just playing their backlog like I'm trying to do?
Yeah, I'm mostly doing my backlog. Although I thought I already had Pipistrello, I don't. So I'm going to Steam sale Pipistrello for sure.
Oh, nice, yeah. I've really been diving deep into the Indiana Jones game, and it's been very rewarding.
Yeah, that one's been fun to watch.
Yeah, but if there aren't physical copies, you have to do something, yes.
I will say for some general housekeeping real quick, gang. Next week, Okay, we don't have anything planned for 4th of July. It got a bit busy. So apologies there, because I do love me some 4th of July. You guys, if you didn't see the Fugitive Hunter speedrun we did last time, I call it a speedrun. Like, if you didn't see our Fugitive Hunter 4th of July special last year, go check it out on the YouTube. Monday, though, I do have an idea for some America-themed fun if we have a session. I may need to prepare for some travel, though.
Yeah, we'll be out.
And I know Jacob and I, we'll both be out of town Thursday, so next Thursday, no Technopoverty. We will have a movie this weekend, though.
Yeah.
Hell yes, Ja. Okay, so this is also what I wanted to get to, because the next book is Black Flame by Gretchen Felker-Martin. I'm not going to formally start discussing Black Flame until I get back from traveling, so not until I think it's the 12th, Monday the 12th. Is that what it is? Because I think Friday, I think it's Saturday's the 10th or 11th.
It sounds great.
If you look at your calendar, next week basically there's gonna be a Monday session that's gonna be very loosey-goosey if it happens at all. But if it does happen, it will be a late apology for no 4th of July special. It will be America themed. Staying in line with what I think is gonna be our American tradition. Whenever we do a 4th of July special, no books. There's no books involved with our 4th of July episodes. We talk about movies, we play some fuck yeah games, no books. We don't talk about books.
We don't talk about books that day.
We don't talk about books on 4th of July. We talk about history,
I love that theme.
we talk about culture, but we don't talk about books.
What a truly American.
We'll talk about Michael Bay. We can talk about Roland Emmerich, but books? No books.
No books.
No books, buddy. 4th of July, get the fuck out of here. We got dogs and books.
This is America. We got glizzies.
We got glizzies. We got sparklers. No fucking books.
Ooh, Jari, we share a homemade firework recipe on 4th of July.
Right, no books. Just firework recipes.
Everyone brings their generational fireworks recipes from their family.
Okay, I have no need to explore the Bailey. What I really need to do is just go underground, I feel. But yeah, so next week is going to be loose to absent. We're going to be deadbeat parents for a week. Mom and Dad are leaving y'all.
Fuck, dude,
there's reheats on YouTube.
Dude, it would be really fucking funny if we could do like...
I'm going to pin $20 to your caller if you need cab fare.
You know how like we do like a restream of like an old episode or something, but we have like an image of like the video cart, so that takes up most of the screen with a very small version of us. Like, sorry. Guys, we're not here.
It's us in a classroom with the cart, just like leaning on it, pointing to it, like, yeah.
Still images, and then just this really tiny screen.
Okay, there's no need for me to come this way either.
I love these dumb ideas. Technopoverty is beautiful.
Yeah, we can shoot that up pretty easily. Just a frame. Just a reruns frame.
I know, we need a good CRT that isn't $200.
See, the thing is, we do the reruns frame, and then we can also do it live when we want to just rewatch our own stuff.
Oh, yeah.
We're just in front of us watching it.
Yes, I love that.
Okay, right, I came back this way for...
Oh yeah, Jari, ooh, the memory episodes. Remember when? Wavy screen transition.
Yeah. Okay, let's see. Yes. Nice. All right. But for real, I guess I have to find whatever keys in this place still. All right. There's the Bailey. I want to not do any of that. I want to go down and straight. Okay.
Oh, dude, yeah. Jari, play a past episode in our current setup with the void and a rectangle left of Barney. So we play last week's episode as we're doing, or like the last episode.
Layers within layers.
I love this. Just have that as our background at some point.
Man, yeah, no, because part of it is, like, I do like fucking with the form and the presentation, like, both in the sense that we're doing the thing, like, as we talk about with the distance destruction, if there's anything we can hope to attempt to do, it's destroy that aestheticizing fascist, like, impulse of, like, putting a great distance between a work and a tradition.
Yeah.
Like, no, these things are to be interacted with in the now, in the present, not within some aggrieved past nostalgia mode.
Yeah, dude.
Okay, I need to get over there somehow.
That's a long far over there.
Backward and forward. Oh yeah, oh yeah.
Love a little sleepy Barney cam.
Oh yeah, see I draw my sword. Nice.
Technopoverty looks backward and forward. The golden rectangle episode where various feeds Nautilus spiral into the center, and we're gonna need a bigger rig for that one. That's a great idea. How deep can it go?
Is this it? Is this the big key in this area? Am I getting there? Nice, alright. There's something, I don't know, it reminds me of like classic Mario or like just the visual language of platforming. It's so legible where to like jump to, or like if not like how to get there, like where you're like led to look.
Yeah, like where you're supposed to be. Or...
Real good invisible design. It's the ludic, which, you know, we talk about ludonarrative harmony and ludology. Like ludo is just, you know, the sense of play. Shout out to Range Touch Media, the Just King Things guys. They also do Shell by Genre. They did they have another pod called Game Studies Study Buddies, and they recently did a episode on the ludic in like 16th century literature, I believe it was called. But like it gets at what we're talking about, this sense of play. Like before video games, like novels did this. I think this is something that, you know, a lot of people are ungenerous to old works about. They don't understand the levels of like metatextual play because they have that flat earth syndrome.
Oh, the flat earth syndrome.
Okay. Which way dare I go? Damn. Wrong gamble. Let's go this way first. Nope. Damn. Nope. I'm realizing I may have got caught up in platforming and failed to finish even saying. What I was getting at is after next week's bullshit, when we return, Black Flame will be the book. We'll see where we are with Pseudoregalia. If not, already on Pipistrello. We'll see. How do I get this gap? But also next week, my grandmother turns 100. And I think that's pretty cool.
That's so cool. Good for her. That's just like, what was the world like in 1926?
Yeah, seriously.
Like,
all right. We're exploring.
Pretty incredible. There's some other person who just hit 100 recently that I was very surprised.
Mel Brooks?
Mel Brooks, yes, him as well. Gene Shalit. That's who it was. He was also 100. He passed away recently, but I was just like, I didn't know that he was still alive in the first place.
Yeah, wow.
But then he made it that long. Like, my God. Jari laughed pretty hard when you guys were testing the Barney cam and had surrounding views. Traditional techno-poverty is 2D framed and lockdown shots. Either could be ways to play with the form, like switching perspectives or moving cam. Hell yeah. Okay, I like to play too much. Listen, Jari, I love cameras.
We need to do the drunk driving thing.
Oh yeah, that's right. I forgot about that one too.
We'll have to set that up when we return.
All right. That's it too. We've also got the 360 camera. I wonder if there's a way we could get that weird 360 camera feed from it, like the little tiny world thinger, you know. Like that shit would be funny. See how many different digital inputs we can have. We have so many cameras. We have like phone cameras. We have like 12 different ones just going at all times.
What if I just... Nope. All right.
Yeah, there you go, Jari. Point the camera at the monitor for infinite monitors life hack.
Yes. There we go.
Oh, Barney, you're so cute. It's great putting you on a camera.
Well, I got all the shortcut stuff open, so nice. Nice.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. And sorry to hear the passing of your grandfather about that man earlier this year.
Oof.
But he and Graham stayed quite active. That's really cool. It's honestly a really great thing. He loved fixing and tinkering with stuff, and the two of them went dancing regularly. That is really cool.
Nice.
Dude, that's like Dick Van Dyke also almost, I think he hit 100 recently, or he's at least 99. But also like dancing still, so mobility.
I didn't realize, I thought he passed for some reason.
Still going.
No,
Who's
what am
last
I
action?
doing? How's she doing?
She's doing great. She's so sleepy. Big pup dick, barking at people. The infinite Barney can forever. Speaking of grandparents, I'm going to see my grandmother in
Nice.
August. Very excited. We're like Nancy. She's a fun time.
Oh.
Noise.
Maybe I need to rethink this. Okay. Up that way, up that way, up that way. Okay. Is that it for this? At least for this part. Okay, okay, okay. I don't understand. Okay. Right here, okay. I can't come this way yet. All right. I'll just accept that. And you either do the keep or the library or underground. I'm denying the underground. We have to go Tony Hawk's Underground.
Tony Hawk's Underground.
You know what? I'm being too realist. We need to go on Fringe Underground and like really dig into the conspiracy theory.
Yes. Give me more. Love the conspiracy theory.
So let's retreat to easier to navigate conditions.
Oh, that's a good call, Jari. Because we do use OBS, but using a smaller stream deck. Like we talked about using my little controller or loop deck, whatever it is.
Oh, like a switchboard?
Yeah, like if we added more cameras in.
Or like an ATEM?
Yeah. Yeah, I'm always looking online for those because they've been every once in a while people will sell them around here on Facebook Marketplace for a reasonable price. And with all the like like multicam editing stuff we do, that's like would be useful.
Nice.
Would be useful to have.
I do kind of miss the loop deck CTE.
Yeah.
Okay, finally one of these things. Oh, what? Okay. Oh, it's like a time chase thing. What'd that do? Okay. Okay. So it's like a speed test? Damn. I guess I passed it. Alright, enough of this bullshit. Let's go to either the library or the keep. My money's on the library shit. Yeah, let's go to the library and then save and break because the battery's getting low. And of course in the library there's lots of books. And maybe if I just whip out The Crying of Lot 49 and give it a go for the second half, it'll be a bit more cogent. Yeah, because there's a bit of the library I hadn't explored because I needed to further jump skill stuff. Actually, let's go look at that now. Let's see if we can squeeze a bit more out of this battery before we go.
Barney, you sweet, sweet puppy.
This is like what I wanted Mirror's Edge to be, if that makes sense. I always felt my only issue with that game was it was kind of like you had to go specifically where was highlighted.
Oh, yeah, it was a little more like your choice, or...
Yeah.
Yeah.
Whereas this, you can bounce off of most shit pretty nicely.
Yeah.
Like that. Did you just see that?
Yeah.
Shit, yeah.
They got some sweet options.
Damn. Also, I'm not a furry, but I like this protagonist.
Alright. I'm not a furry, but I can appreciate
I get why she's caked up. Like, there's like a visual simplicity to like being able to identify what power-ups you have and stuff, but also like caked up go mommy. Like, yeah, dude, let your freak flag fly.
Mm-hmm.
It's not like she's like, it's not like Stellar Blade where she's constantly jiggling in your face either.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna shoot for it. Hell yeah. Dim hops, dim hops. Oh hey. I'm just collecting these heart tanks. Is there not a key in the library is my question, because I feel like I've pretty well explored the library. I'm gonna give it a quick circuit. Yeah, maybe I don't go to big loop. Okay. All right, we're gonna pause here. We're gonna throw up that Barney bumper. We're gonna go on a nice break. We're gonna stand up, we're gonna stretch, we're gonna be nice to our skeletons. Yeah. Smoke them if you got them. This is the Summer Scramble here at Technopoverty. When we come back, I'm gonna read some Pynchon to y'all. See you soon.
Oh, this baby.
All right, we are hot. So is Barney.
Yeah.
Oh, perfect. We'll have the pseudo-regalia music to read to. Jacob, something I really like about The Crying of Lot 49 is how well the first chapter sets everything up. Oedipa and her husband are in a relationship that they, it's a dead marriage, but they don't necessarily resent each other, or it's not as pointed as like they hate each other. It's more like they're dead to themselves inside, and they're both just kind of zombies shuffling about, you know?
Mm-hmm. Okay, all right.
It makes something, I feel, it makes something more emotionally impactful to me near the end that I'm going to read from here in a moment. For one thing, she read over the will more closely. If it was really Pierce's attempt to leave an organized something behind after his own annihilation, then it was part of her duty, wasn't it, to bestow life on what had persisted? To try to be what Driblet was, the dark machine in the center of the planetarium, to bring the estate into pulsing, sulphurous meaning, all in a soaring dome around her? If only so much didn't stand in her way. Her deep ignorance of law, of investment, of real estate, ultimately of the dead man himself. See, I also think, Ja, that her complete inexperience legally allows maybe Pierce to dodge some things in the afterlife, or allows the estate to brush certain things under the rug because the executor is ignorant of what to do with them. The bond the probate court had her post was perhaps their evaluation in dollars of how much did stand in her way. Under the symbol she'd copied off the latrine wall of the scope into her memo book, she wrote, "Shall I project a world? If not project, then at least flush some arrow on a dome to skitter among constellations and trace out your dragon, whale, Southern Cross. Anything might help." It was some such feeling that got her up early one morning to go to a Yo-Yo Dine stockholders meeting. There was nothing she could do at it, yet she felt it might redeem her a little from inertia. They gave her a round white visitor's badge at one of the gates, and she parked in an enormous lot next to a Quonset building painted pink and about 100 yards long. This was the Yo-Yo Dine cafeteria, a scene of her meeting. For 2 hours, Oedipus sat in a long bench between old men who might have been twins, and whose hands, alternately, as if their owners were asleep at the mold, freckled hands out roaming dream landscapes, kept falling onto her thighs. I like this description of them all as interchangeable because to me it's like Pierce in Verity, her ex, was just another one of these men. Again, I don't think there's actually a real uniqueness or mystery. I think any and all of these dudes are probably in the same Skull and Bone secret society clubs that, like, if one of them dropped dead, it's like, yeah, they all ran in the same circles. Oh, hello, Barney. Oh, what are you doing? Ugh. Hello there, Oedipus said, arrested by his coincidence. On a whim, she added, Kirby sent me. This having been the name on the latrine wall. It was supposed to sound conspiratorial, but it came out silly. Hi, said Stanley Kotex, deftly sliding the big envelope he'd been dueling on to open drawer and then closed. Catching sight of her badge. You're lost, huh? She knew blunt questions like, what does that symbol mean, would get her nowhere. She said, I'm a tourist, actually. A stockholder. Stockholder. He gave her the once-over, hooked with his foot a swivel chair from the next desk, and rolled it over for her. Sit down. Can you really influence policy or make suggestions they won't just file in the garbage? Yes, lied Oedipa, to see where it would take them. See, Kotex said, if you can get them to drop their claws on patents. That, lady, is my axe to grind. Patents? Oedipa said. Kotex explained how every engineer, in signing to the Yo-Yo Dine contract, also signed away the patent rights to any inventions he might come up with. This stifles your really creative engineer, Kotex said, adding bitterly, wherever he may be. I didn't think people invented anymore, said Oedipa, sensing this would goad him. I mean, who's there been, really, since Thomas Edison? Isn't it all teamwork now? Bloody chicklets, in his welcoming speech this morning, had stressed teamwork. Teamwork, Kotex snarled, is one word for it, yeah. What it really is a way to avoid responsibility. It's a symptom of the gutlessness of the whole society. Goodness, said Oedipa. Are you allowed to talk like that? Kotex looked to both sides, then rolled his chair closer. You know the Nefastus machine? Oedipa only widened her eyes. Well, this was invented by John Nefastus, who's up at Berkeley now. John's somebody who still invents things. Here, I have a copy of the patent. From a drawer he produced a Xerox wad of paper showing a box with a sketch of a bearded Victorian on its outside, and coming out of the top were 2 pistons attached to a crankshaft and a flywheel. Who's that with the beard? Asked Oedipa. James Clerk Maxwell, explained Kotex, a famous Scotch scientist who had once postulated a tiny intelligence, known as Maxwell's demon. The demon could sit in a box among air molecules that were moving at all different random speeds and sort out the fast molecules from the slow ones. Fast molecules have more energy than the slow ones. Concentrate enough of them in one place and you have a region of high temperature. You can then use the difference in temperature between the hot region of the box and any cooler region to drive a heat engine. Since the demon only sat and sorted, you wouldn't have to put any real work into the system. So you'd be violating the second law of thermodynamics, getting something from nothing, causing perpetual motion. Sorting isn't work, Oedipa said. Tell them down at the post office. you'll find yourself in a mailbag headed for Fairbanks, Alaska, without even a fragile sticker going for you. It's mental work, Kotick said, but not work in the other thermodynamic sense. He went on to tell how the Nefastus machine contained an honest-to-God Maxwell's demon. All you had to do was stare at the photo of Clark Maxwell to concentrate on which cylinder, right or left, you wanted the demon to raise the temperature in. The air would expand and push a piston. The familiar Society for the Propagation of Christian Knowledge photo, showing Maxwell in right profile, seemed to work best. Oedipa, behind her shades, looked around carefully, trying not to move her head. Nobody paid any attention to them. The air conditioning hummed on. IBM typewriters chickered away. Swivel chairs squeaked. Fat reference manuals were slammed shut. Rattling blueprints folded and refolded, while high overhead the long silent fluorescent bulbs glared merrily. All with Yo-Yo-Dyne was normal, except right here, where Oedipa Maas, with 1,000 other people to choose from, had had to walk uncoerced into the presence of madness. Having talked already about where the novel's going and kind of the impulse of Pierce Inverarity to just keep things pumping, keep things going, and Oedipa's insistence on interpreting and on sorting things out and just keeping things going, every character has that tick. It reminds me of what I was talking to you about with Marty Supreme, where it's like, yeah, Marty's an asshole for sure, but also like his uncle paid a cop to hold him up. Yeah. Like
no one is like not an asshole.
Yeah, Marty forgot to give this guy's dog back, but also this guy's now threatening him at gunpoint and knife point to like gut his ass. Like, whoa.
Excessive.
Yeah. And you get this sense of like interpretation, of like meaning. Everybody's doing what Oedipa's doing on some level, because like it's what Inverarity's doing. It's kind of the impulse of like America that I think Pynchon's tapping into with this mid-century paranoia. Like you just, who knows? Just keep going. Just keep going. Don't stop. You'll notice the pattern.
We don't want that. Don't notice the pattern.
It also reminds me of, I think, honestly, The Crying of Lot 49 would make a good walking sim style, just like walking around a town, investigating just like different people from the stamp collection and how they're associated. It'd be like Obra Dinn style, where you're just kind of like going around town with the stamp collection and like looking up who he got what from, cross-referencing what from, just entering these weird characters.
Oh, that could be pretty. Yeah.
Especially if it's one of those games where it's something like you only have like 3 months to get this done, so you can't possibly 100% it. So you have to pick and choose what's meaningful, very like Majora's Mask style. This is something I really appreciate about Elden Ring, is I got the Platinum Trophy in Elden Ring. There's whole side quests and NPCs I don't know shit about. Like, that world is so big, I am fine not knowing about the whole world. If anything, it makes it feel more alive, because it feels more infinite than rather if I licked every corner and found everything.
Yeah, right.
She, in her turn, clearly was not about to forget it. The envelope she'd seen Kotex doodling on what she began to think of as the waste symbol had come on, she bet, from John Nefastus, or somebody like him. Her suspicions got embellished by, of all people, Mike Fallopian of the Peter Penguin Society. Sure, this Kotex is part of some underground, he told her a few days later. An underground of the unbalanced, possibly. But then how can you blame them for being maybe a little bitter? Look what's happening to them. In school, they got brainwashed, like all of us, into believing the myth of the American inventor. Morse and his telegraph, Bell and his telephone, Edison and his light bulb, Tom Swift and his this or that. Only one man per invention. Then when they grew up, they found out they had to sign over all their rights to a monster like Yo-Yo-Dyne, got stuck on some project or task force or team, or started being ground into anonymity, just like those bones in the cigarette filters. Nobody wanted them to invent, only performed their little role in a design ritual, already set down for them in some procedures handbook. What's it like, Oedipa, being all alone in a nightmare like that? Of course they stick together. They keep in touch. They can always tell when they come on another of their kind. Maybe it only happens once every 5 years, but still, immediately, they know. if we're to be postmodern, post-structural, maybe individuals have never been deciders of history. Like what we're seeing here with these old structures of corralling and bumping people into each other and creating this whole just consistent churn of energy. The wheel of Ka, the turn of history. It was summer, a weekday, a mid-afternoon. No time for any campus Oedipa knew of to be jumping, and yet this one was. She came downslope from Wheeler Hall, through Souther Gate into a plaza teeming with corduroy, denim, bare legs, blonde hair, horn rims, bicycle spokes in the sun, book bags, swaying card tables, long paper petitions dangling to earth, posters for undecipherable FSMs, YAFs, VDCs, suds in the fountain, students in nose-to-nose dialogue. She moved through it carrying her fat book, attracted, unsure, a stranger, wanting to feel relevant but knowing how much of a search among alternate universes it would take. For she had undergone her own educating in a time of nerves, blandness, and retreat, among not only her fellow students, but also most of the visible structure around and ahead of them. But also most of the visible structure around and ahead of them. This having been a national reflex to certain pathologies in high places only death had had the power to cure. And this Berkeley was like no somnolent swash out of her own past at all, but more akin to those Far Eastern or Latin American universities you read about. Those autonomous culture media where the most beloved of folklores may be brought into doubt, cataclysmic of dissents voiced, suicidal of commitments chosen, the sort that bring governments down. But it was English she was hearing as she crossed Bancroft Way among the blonde children and the muttering Hondas and Suzukis, American English. Where were Secretaries James and Foster and Senator Joseph, those dear daft noumena who'd mothered all of Oedipa's so temperate youth? In another world, along another pattern of track, another string of decisions taken, switches closed, the faceless pointmen who'd thrown them all now transferred, deserted, in a stir, fleeing the skip tracers out of their skull on horse, alcoholic, fanatic, under aliases, dead, impossible to find ever again. Among them they had managed to turn the young Oedipa into a rare creature indeed, unfit perhaps for marches and sit-ins, but just a whiz at pursuing strange words and Jacobean texts. Just interpreting, just always the student. Titties McGee with his way of naming things. This book in particular, yeah. I mean, Pierce Inverarity comes close, Mucho Mas, Dr. Hilarious, she has a shrink, his name's Dr. Hilarious. He just gives housewives LSD. That's his whole deal.
Dude, hell yeah.
I'll read more on Hilarious in a moment here, actually.
I'm your housewife's favorite drug man.
Right.
Troy Barney.
Barney says
hello. Sweet little baby.
Say hello to old Stanley, he called as she pattered down the steps into the street, flung a babushka over her license plate, and screeched away down Telegraph. She drove more or less automatically until a swift boy in a Mustang, perhaps unable to contain the new sense of virility his auto gave him, nearly killed her, and she realized that she was on the freeway, heading irreversibly for the Bay Bridge. It was the middle of rush hour. Oedipa was appalled at the spectacle, having thought such traffic only possible in Los Angeles, places like that. Looking down at San Francisco a few minutes later from the high point of the bridge's arc, she saw smog. Haze, she corrected herself, is what it is. Haze. How can they have smog in San Francisco? Smog, according to the folklore, did not begin till further south. It had to be the angle of the sun. Amid the exhaust, sweat, glare, and the ill humor of a summer evening on the American freeway, Oedipa Moss pondered her Tristro problem. All the silence of San Narciso, the calm surface of the motel pool, the contemplative contours of residential streets like rakings in the sand of a Japanese garden, had not allowed her to think as leisurely as this freeway madness. For John Hephaestus, to take a recent example, two kinds of entropy, thermodynamic and informational, happened, say by coincidence, to look alike, when he wrote them down as equations. Yet he had made his mere coincidence respectable, with the help of Maxwell's demon. Now here was Oedipa, faced with a metaphor of God knew how many parts. More than two, anyway. With coincidences blossoming these days wherever she looked, she had nothing but a sound, a word, trishtero, to hold them together. Trishtero is a word in the play she gets fixated on. The play about the bones being smoked into filters coincidence she gets on. There's various interpretations of this play she traces throughout history, and this is where she starts to notice Turn and Thraxis, which was apparently a real male organization. And it's because she's noticing Turn and Thraxis that she then notices this Trishtero, which she's postulating is the shadow male organization.
Okay.
It's a whole rabbit hole of fun she runs on down.
She's like, I'm going to find this out.
I mentioned Lynch as a video game with all these characters as NPCs. It's also very Twin Peaks in that way. You can see like the Lynchian and Pynchon, even though, as I said, I think Pynchon's strengths may be funner to explore in video games than, say, movies.
Boredom simulators while we're at.
Boredom simulators. But yeah, eventually she starts following the mailmen around, the waste mailmen, and just seeing, like, who picks this stuff up? Alright, but eventually she does get back to her Dr. Hilarious, because she thinks she's going crazy and she needs someone to talk to. And when she gets to the office, he's holed up in his office with a shotgun. He thinks someone's trying to kill her. Kill him. I worked, Hilarious told her, on experimentally induced insanity. A catatonic Jew is as good as a dead one. Liberal SS circles felt it would be more humane. So he'd gone there at their subjects with metronomes, serpents, Brechtian vignettes at midnight, surgical removal of certain glands, magic lantern hallucinations, new drugs, threats recited over hidden loudspeakers, hypnotism, clocks that ran backwards, and faces. Hilarious had been put in charge of the faces. The Allied liberators, he reminisced, arrived unfortunately before we could gather enough data. Apart from that spectacular success, like Z, and he wasn't much we could point to in a statistical way. He smiled at the expression on her face. Yes, you hate me. But didn't I try to atone? If I'd been a real Nazi, I'd have chosen Jung. Nicht wahr? But I chose Freud instead. Freud's vision of the world had no Buchenwalds in it. Buchenwald, according to Freud, once the light was let in, would become a soccer field. Fat children would learn flower arranging and solfeggio in the strangling rooms. At Auschwitz, the ovens would be converted over to petite fours and wedding cakes, and the V-2 missiles to public housing for the elves. I tried to believe it all. I slept 3 hours a night trying not to dream, and spent the other 21 at forcible acquisition of faith. And yet my penance hasn't been enough. They've come like angels of death to get me, despite all I've tried to do. How's it going? The cop inquired. Just Marv, said Oedipa. I'll let you know if it's hopeless. Then she saw that Hilarious had left the guar on his desk and was across the room ostensibly trying to open a file cabinet. She picked the rifle up, pointed it at him, and said, I ought to kill you. She knew he had wanted to get her to get her to get to the weapon. Isn't that what you've been sent to do? He crossed and sun-crossed his eyes at her, stuck out his tongue tentatively. I came, she said, hoping you could talk me out of a fantasy. Cherish it, cried Hilarious. Cherish it, cried Hilarious, fiercely. Sorry, when you read hilarious and it's not like describing like laughter or anything funny, but it's a proper noun name after the word fiercely, you get a bit slippery with it.
A little bit.
I came, she said, hoping you could talk me out of a fantasy. Cherish it, cried Hilarious, fiercely. What else do any of you have? Hold it tightly by its little tentacle. Don't let the Freudian coax it away or the pharmacist poison it out of you. Whatever it is, hold it dear. For when you lose it, you go over by that much the others. You begin to cease to be. Come on in, Oedipa yelled. Tears sprang from Hilarious's eyes. You aren't going to shoot? The cop tried the door. It's locked. Hey, he said. Bust it down, roared Oedipa, and Hitler Hilarious here will foot the bill. Weird. Is individualism and egoism a cult perpetuated by Nazis on some subconscious mission?
What could they gain from such things?
Dose the patients. Problem solved.
Hell yeah, brother.
All right. Jacob, basically after many days of just like many months, actually, it's a pretty big estate. Like time hops around this book despite being short in its page count. This is part of why I wanted to watch Happiness. Metzger, the co-executor, he just books it with a 15-year-old from the hotel they were staying at. It's kind of a big rug pull from under her feet, as like one of the things she was wondering along with all this other conspiracy stuff is like, does this dude I'm having an affair with really like want anything out of this, or where's this going?
Yeah, suddenly realizing.
Like, oh no, he just really wanted to tap that, and then he's going to skip town with the 15-year-old. He actually doesn't care about any of this mystery stuff.
True piece.
But there's this band staying at the hotel they were staying at called the Paranoids, and they're like these American kids pretending to be like a Beatles-like clone.
Okay.
But when she first comes back, before she discovers that what's happened, she sees the band and they're all sad. And she's just like, "What's happening?" said Oedipa. "Your young man," replied Miles, Metzger, really put it to our Serge, our countertenor. The lad's in crackers with grief. Crackers. "He's right, missus," said Serge. "I even wrote a song about it, whose arrangement features none other than me. And it goes like this." And this is Serge's song. "What chance has a lonely surfer boy for the love of a surfer chick, with all these Humbert cats coming so big and sick? For me, my baby was a woman. For him, she's just another nymphette. Why did they run around? Why did she put me down and go and get me so upset? Well, as long as she's gone away, yay, I've had to find somebody new, and the older generation has taught me what to do. I had a date last night with an 8-year-old, and she's a swinger just like me, so you can find us up on the football field in the back of PS 33, and it's as groovy as it can be." "You're trying to tell me something," said Oedipa. They gave it then to her in prose. Metzger and Serge's chick had run off to Nevada to get married. Serge, on close questioning, admitted the bit about the 8-year-old was so far only imaginary, but that he was hanging diligently around playgrounds and should have some news for them any day. On top of the TV set in her room, Metzger had left a note telling her not to worry about the estate, that he turned over his executorship to somebody at Warp, Wistfall, Kubitschek, and McMingus, and they should be in touch with her, and it was all squared with the probate court also. No word to recall that Oedipa and Metzger had ever been more than co-executors. Huh. Yeah. You're trying to tell me something through this metaphor, but then you got to give it to us straight. But also what's lost or not included. I mean, I love the part at the end, no word to recall that Oedipa and Metzger had ever been more than co-executors. Like, you're trying to tell me something, but you're omitting something. The omission of what's not there and what you can't know and what you just have to kind of go off of.
Yeah.
Which is why, after a point, you have to also wonder, how tenuous is this plot? One of the sad parts is, though, I explained earlier that her husband and her, they're kind of in a dead marriage. She comes back to discover her husband's been dosing LSD, like her doctor's also been doing it to husbands. And like, yeah, they weren't in love anymore, but like there was still like a spark of a person that was there, and now he's just a drug zombie. It's almost sadder than like a typical like, wow, they were the best, most in love couple ever, and then they fell apart from each other.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I know, Barney.
It's too late, he said. For me? For me. Before she could ask what he meant, he'd hung up. She had no more coins. By the time she could get somewhere to break a bill, he'd be gone. She stood between the public booth and the rented car in the night, her isolation complete, and tried to face toward the sea. But she'd lost her bearings. She turned, pivoting on that one stacked heel. Could find no mountains either. And if there could be no barriers between herself and the rest of the land. San Narciso at the moment lost, the loss pure, instant, spherical. The sound of a stainless orchestral chime held among the stars and struck lightly, gave up its residue of uniqueness for her, became a name again, was assumed back into the American continuity of crust and mantle. Pierce Inverarity was really dead. She walked down a stretch of railroad track next to the highway. Spurs ran off here and there into factory property. Pierce may have owned the factories too, but did it matter now if he'd owned all of San Narciso? San Narciso was a name, an incident among our climatic records of dreams and what dreams become among our accumulated daylight, a moment's squall line or a tornado's touchdown among the higher, more continental salinities, storm systems of group suffering and need, prevailing winds of affluence. There was the true continuity. San Narciso had no boundaries. No one knew yet how to draw them. She had dedicated herself weeks ago to making sense of what Inverarity had left behind, never suspecting that the legacy was America. Mino Depa must yet be his heiress. Had that been in the will, in code perhaps, without Pierce really knowing, having been by then too seized by some headlong expansion of himself, some visit, some lucid instruction. Though she can never again call back any image of the dead man to dress up, pose, talk to and make answer, neither would she lose any new compassion for the cul-de-sac he tried to find a way out of, for the enigma his efforts had created. Though he had never talked business with her, she had known it to be a fraction of him that couldn't come out, even would carry forever beyond any decimal point that she might name. Her love, such it had been, remaining inconsumate with his need to possess, to alter the land, to bring new skylines, personal antagonisms, growth rates into being. Keep it bouncing, he told her once. That's all the secret. Keep it bouncing. He must have known, writing the will, facing the specter, how the bouncing would stop. He might have written the testament only to harass a one-time mistress, so cynically sure of being wiped out he could throw away all hope of anything more. Bitterness could have run that deep in him. She just didn't know. He might himself have discovered a Tristero and encrypted that in the will, buying into just enough to be sure she'd find out. Or he might even have tried to survive death as a paranoia, as a pure conspiracy against someone he loved. Would that breed of perversity prove too keen to be stunned even by death? Had a plot finally been devised too elaborate for the Dark Angel to hold at once, in his humorless vice president's head, all of the possibilities? Had something slipped through in Inverarity by that much beaten death? Yet she knew, head down, stumbling along over the cinder bed and its old sleepers, there was still that other chance. That was all true. That Inverarity had only died. Nothing else. Suppose God, there really was a Tristero then, and that she had come on it by accident. If San Narciso had the estate were really no different from any other town, any other estate, then by that continuity, she might have found the Tristero anywhere in her republic, through any of the 100 lightly conceited entranceways, 100 alienations, if only she'd looked. She'd stopped a minute between the steel rails, raising her head as if to sniff the air, becoming conscious of the hard, strung presence she stood on, knowing as if maps had been flashed for her on the sky how these tracks ran on into the others, knowing they laced, deepened, authenticated the great night around her. If only she'd looked. She remembered now old Pullman cars, left where they'd money'd run out or the customers vanished, amid green farm flatness where clothes hung, smoke blazed out of jointed pipes. Were the squatters there in touch with others, though Tristro? Were they helping carry forward that 300 years of the house's disinheritance? Surely they'd forgotten by now that it was the Tristro who were having... Surely they'd forgotten by now that it was the Tristro were to have inherited, as perhaps Oedipa one day might have. What was left to inherit? That America-coded Inverarity's testament? Whose was that? She thought of other, immobilized freight cars, where the kid sat on the floor planking and sang back, happy as fat, whatever came over the mother's pocket radio. Of other squatters who stretched the canvas for lean-tos behind smiling billboards along the highways, or slept in junkyards in the stripped cells of wrecked Plymouths, or even, daring, spent the night up some pole in Lyman's tent like caterpillars, swung among the web of telephone wires, living in the very copper rigging and secular miracle of communication, untroubled by the dumb voltages flickering in their miles, the night long in thousands of unheard messages. She remembered drifters she'd listened to, Americans speaking their language carefully, scholarly, as if they were in exile from somewhere else invisible yet congruent with the cheered land she lived in, and walkers along the roads at night, zooming in and out of your headlights without looking up, too far from any town to have a real destination. And the voices before and after the dead man's that had phoned at random during the darkest, slowest hours, searching ceaseless among the dial's 10 million possibilities for that magical other who would reveal herself out of the roar of relays, monotone litanies of insult, filth, fantasy, love whose brute repetition must someday call into being the trigger for the unnameable act, the recognition, the word. If we just had the answer to things... You know, if everybody knew, things would then be different. There is, like history is projecting backwards. It's not like there's a solid fixed meaning there. And, you know, Inverarity's interpretation of narrative and why he was collecting his shit, it's gone, man. It's gone. Stop trying to make sense of it.
Ain't there no more.
It is kind of like similar to the conspiracy theorist idea of, again, if people just knew the thing, if we just brought it before court. He wrote this before the acid test, a decade since clinical experimentation and right in the middle of increased academic research breaking out into the general population. Okay.
Fascinating.
All right, let's get out of this library. I think I actually have a sense of where to go for the next part. Not the library, not the dilapidated dungeon. Maybe the theater? The theater seems like it might actually be a safe bet. The theater or Sanzaki? Let's go to the theater, because I don't think I really explored much of the theater last time, and I got mobility shit now. But I think we've talked a bit about Baudrillard in the past, and I think this book is a great example of actual, like, simulacra, hyperreal. Wait, I want to go across this way. Or the concept of simulacra in the sense that, as we've said or talked about before, now I just don't know where the fuck I am. Okay, I look this way and there's the keep. Don't want to go to the keep. I want to go to the other place. Oof. Oh, what's Jaw saying?
Oh, it was just the same thing, the increased academic research.
Oh, okay, I already read that, the acid test part. Got it.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's hit up this theater.
Fuck yeah.
Okay, I came from the Bailey. And I just ran this way, didn't I? I feel like that was my deal. And it looks like there's a lot around here. Okay.
If you were in Oedipus' position, do you think you would keep digging?
Nah.
Probably not.
I don't really know, besides like getting down to the truth of it, what you really would be satisfying about solving it.
Clip that.
Just nah.
No.
No.
Negative. Same said for lot 49.
What am I doing? Oh, is this something cool? This looks like it might lead to something cool.
Hell yeah.
Haven't had any bosses or anything. Oh, there's like a huge skill check wall. I need some sort of air dash, I think. Yeah, we'll come back here later. Damn it. Oh, I would reread it, Ja. I think that's one of the reasons I asked about both Metzger and the Phantom Bitter at the end, because I think both answers are in the text, but I think either way there's like satisfying like reads on it. I do think it's fun in a way that those like hooks exist, because I think what happens there is you're goaded into trying to reread. Like, say you didn't get it the first time because you're still thinking a very like A-B, like I must solve the mystery way about it. The second time you read it, I think you may actually get clarified and come to the conclusions I feel I'm filling on it, where, you know, I think Metzger just wanted to bang Oedipa, which is why she was part of the whole plan in the first place. And also, like, again, I think Cohen's the dude at the end, and she's just overthinking it. It's the same way, like, Peter Thiel's really obsessed with the Antichrist. I don't think there's anything substantive there to actually believe in. Like, the dude was also, like, into real estate. Like, maybe, like, there's something about housing code that's consistent in all his houses she just failed to notice because, like, the sense of scale is different than stamps, which she can focus on. Because that's the thing, like, the passage I read about being in school and being like, oh, I was raised in a different generation, I was trained a different way, I'm only here to, like, figure out, like, the dilapidated, Jacobian plays, I'm only here to decipher clues. Like, that framing already, like, again, mazes we don't know how to get out of. Structure, building prisons in the mid-century is what we're doing to ourselves. It seems to be on Pynchon's mind. Or maybe not prisons, that might be a bit too harsh. Alright, what am I doing? I'm gonna go south. Because when I was earlier mentioning the hyperreal, basically, like, whatever meaning Oedipa has, it's going to be more real than what Inverarity's meaning is, because Inverarity's dead. And so, like, whatever intended meaning Inverarity had can never be known or regained. Oedipa's better off going with just, like, what she reads on it and what she finally decides. But see, that's the thing, because then Oedipa has to decide. She has to commit to an action. And that's just not something she understands to do. Like, she's been conditioned by mid-century, like, you know, just social mores and norms to be the person she is, even if it's making her miserable. Walled garden panopticon, yeah. Alright, let's see if the keep has any answers for us. Yeah, there's two whole aspects there. Oh yeah, there's plenty of open doors here. Let's fucks with it. And I mean, I think this is part of the general, well, I mean, Hilarious is a Nazi, so I don't even think that's much of a reach for me to say this is part of the undercurrent of fascism, like, in American culture, is like, what Kierkegaard sees as, like, indolence and paralysis, and, like, what I see is, you know, this imaginary, like, permission granting, or, like, everybody's seeking for the teacher in the room to tell them they have the correct take. Like, yes, you get the stamp of moral approval for having that. Like, congratulations, go on. Right, there's the underbelly, and there's this. I haven't been this way. I should. Tweet. Detroit. What is this green screen? An official secret room? Strike break. Hold attack and cure weapons ready. Release to strike. Can be used to destroy heavy barriers, eh? Good to know. Does that mean green walls? I think it means green walls, Jacob.
Whoa. Those lovely green walls like those ones right there.
Okay, so cool. Got that. I gotta find at least one big key tonight, right, folks? Ooh. Oh, okay, I came through this way already. Damn it. Damn it. Fine, I'll go to the underbelly. Call back to the physical disc topic too. Rather than buying a console or a game, then go home and play. Now you have to verify your ID, have a credit card to pay for the online service component, internet access to connect. Mazes, yep, yes. And then if it goes offline and there's no preservation, in 15 years you don't even have it for your resume.
Good.
This is why DVDs still sell around the world.
Mm-hmm.
Alright, let's figure out what I gotta do underground. Oh yeah, was I able to go this way now that I have like a longer jump? Maybe. Nice. I have no idea what these things are. Holy shit. There's the big key, Jacob. Oh shit.
Oh damn, that is a pretty big key.
Oh, here I am just fuxing it up. Chat, we found the big key though. Oh, wait. Okay. Cool. Yeah, there's some real finessing shit you can do here. Alright, alright, alright. Is there a switch somewhere to hit? I seize it, I seize it. Damn, okay. Ah. Damn. Oh, I was just there anyways.
Get that shit.
Real quick. Okay. Cool. So it's right here by this entrance.
Yeah.
All right. Take me back to the safe point, boys.
Do it, boys.
Okay. But what's that northmost door? Oh yeah, that just takes me. Right. Yeah, the only road lead I have is that there underground. Jacob, I may need to step off camera for a moment if you don't mind being an entertaining fool for the camera.
No, I think we can do that for a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, get back underground and then, yeah. Chat, I can't believe how stumped I am by this. I'm seeing Dreamcast mentioned in the chat, and this is giving me Soul Reaver vibes. Since the Soul Reaver game was very similar, both in looking
Style
like a game like this, but also that like Zelda Metroid 3D adventure like. Although I remember it didn't have a map, and that got very confusing.
Yeah. Yeah, that game was really cool looking.
I'm not at the end of my wits yet, but I am kind of like, I'm surprised how like stumped or how momentumless this session feels compared to last.
Yeah.
But I have a key in sight. I just feel like there might be a power-up or something over on this side of the board that'll help me get to that key sooner. Yeah, there's this whole north side of this room I have to fucks with. Alright, I'll be right back.
Hell yeah.
Let me switch over this cam. Why don't you just pet Barney and show people Barney?
You know what, folks? What is Barney doing down here? She's doing great. Oh, she's so sleepy. I'll pause the downloading, I think. Slowing things down by downloading things on the Steam Deck at the moment. How dare I? Right. There we go, that's helping a bit. That's helping a bit. God, but she's so cute, y'all. Anybody got good crazy fourth plans? Oh, dang, 3-2, sad you didn't get a raffle ticket. I hope somebody wins a Steam machine. That thing is so cool. They're way too expensive. Damn you, Sam Altman. But soon, inshallah, all of us will win a Steam machine and a raffle.
Oh yeah.
True. Hey, what up, Air Berlin? Yeah, I also ready to be mad if I didn't get one, or be mad how much I was going to spend on it. Yeah, that sounds about right. I wish I could have seen the price before the price hike. That's what I wanted. It would have been beautiful. It would have been a thing of beauty.
The without universe alternate timeline MSRP.
Yeah, yeah. Shows what could have been.
Okay, okay.
Caked up little honey.
Where am I supposed to go from there? Nope. While we're here this late and this done with Pynchon, we've been talking about the playful aspects of Pynchon, the interpretive aspects. I've spoiled parts of the novel, and I've also, made my own speculations as far as like, maybe Metzger just wanted to bang her, and maybe Cohen's just the guy, maybe not. You read the novel yourself, come to your own conclusions there, as far as that ambiguity goes. But this sense of play, this sense of like, it could go either way, this sense of like, you'll never know, stop trying. I think this is why I took so nicely to Book of the New Sun, which is Gene Wolfe's fantasy opus. It's 4 short books. I forget their exact names, but together they're known as the Book of the New Sun. It's kind of a Lord of the Rings situation. But it's so much not the sort of Dungeons and Dragons logic brain fantasy stuff. Book of the New Sun's basically about a boy who grows up in a torturer's academy.
Oh, damn.
They're basically like future cops for the future order, imperial order.
Yeah.
But the thing is, he gets kicked out of Torturer's Academy for reasons. And when he's kicked out of Torturer's Academy, he comes to realize, he doesn't come to realize this, the reader more comes to realize this. He's a stupid boy throughout the whole thing. You realize, like, oh, he was, like, homeschooled, and, like, maybe the outside world hasn't been the way he was raised for it to be, for him to think it was for, like, hundreds of years at this point.
Okay. Yeah.
It's one of those, so it's like a sci-fi fantasy story where, like, it's so many thousands of years into the future that, like, the sci-fi, like, utopia happened, and then the dystopia, and then, like so much shit has clearly happened. Technology's crashed and had peaks and rises. At some point, aliens visited us and then they were gone. Like,
sick.
Just whole histories and shit.
Yeah, whole lifetimes and stories of lifetimes.
And our little Catholic school torturer boy is just oblivious to most of this going on around him. As you're just paraded through this world and given all these things. This isn't working. Okay, but where else can you go from here? Really? How do I? Do I not have a map for this area? How do I do anything?
It does. Show us.
Up.
Brr.
Unless I'm just not meant to go this way yet. Or is there something I'm missing further over here? Okay, yeah, because I think I just went this way before, right? Yeah, okay. Yeah, Book of the New Sun, it's loaded with just like all kinds of orders and systems of like monarchies and fucking feudal orders, monks, priests, schools of thought, sex workers guilds.
All right.
Just the compounding of history into like such a weird, just unrecognizable monster. There's something in that series to me about superstition and the way that persists more than like scientific knowledge. Like we can lose things, but like we'll still be paranoid and scared of stuff, you know?
Yeah. Captain Quasar.
Yeah, exactly, Captain Quasar. It's vibes. That's what it is. It's vibes.
It's all vibes, man.
I know I've had friends compare it to also like, they say like James Joyce's Ulysses is like also helpful when it comes to Book of the New Sun, both because that's a book about a weird, nasty little goblin man as well. I agree with that angle, but I think there's something to the way like Gene Wolfe is obfuscating the larger systems of the world and making them feel overwhelming and confusing and paranoid. That really tracks. Okay, where am I going in this room? What am I doing in this damn platformer? Jacob, I don't know what I'm doing in this damn platformer.
We're trying to figure it out. We're trying to see what you're doing with that damn platformer. Gotta try to find that damn platform.
At this point, I'm going back to the room with the big key in it. Maybe? Okay, yeah, cool. We're going back. Are you a winning streamer? I don't know, Dad.
Unsure.
I'm gonna give that big key room one more good haul, because I really don't know if I'm missing any tools. I feel like the only thing my arsenal's really missing is like an air dash, but I don't know where else on the map I can go right now.
Yeah.
I also really don't know how to take advantage of those black void things if I can at all. Alright, here we are now. Entertainers. Acting stupid and outrageous. Alright.
Get those black horse, man.
Nope. Okay. Can I throw shit at it? There's a switch up there too. Let's make that jump. Nope. Is there something below I'm missing out on? No. Alright, load me up. No? Okay. Okay. Fine. I'm leaving.
Whatever.
I don't need this castle.
Messages.
I already went up that way, if I recall correctly. Oh yeah, I never went this way, did I? Or did I not? Let's see. Okay. Oh, I see. I probably needed the long jump last time, if I recall correctly. Oh, back in the dungeon. Oh, is the Barney cam just off?
Oh.
I think I found some headway though.
Oh, nice.
Nice. The underbelly. Okay. Nice. Nice. Ascendant light. Attack objects and enemies to bounce off of them. And my weapon glows. Hell yeah. I wonder if I can attack those things now.
Alright, y'all, we got Barney's camera back up. And if you'll notice, she's having little dreams right now.
Oh, is she? Is she twitching?
She's twitching. Her little eyes moving. Her mouth. She got little baby sleeping twitches. This game's a lot of pole dancing, you know?
Yep.
A lot of thick ladies with big, high stilettos on poles. Whoa, I like how they have that lower frame rate, kind of like Doll Man.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Animation. Oh, what do we got here?
Barney having little dreams. Yeah, AR Berlin, some claymation vibes.
Oh, hello, did you wake up?
Okay, yeah, there is like an out somewhere. There we go, okay. But what was the point of raising this guy? Okay, well. Where to next? Whoop. I'm saving too much. Cool, cool. Oops, oops. Yeah. Okay. More health ups. Health uppies. Health uppies.
Health uppies. Please, please help uppies.
They're the health uppies. Alright. Should I just come in a circle? Whoops. Cool.
Nice.
Okay, now I'm back where I started. Got it. Wait, how does... Oh, okay, I didn't realize it's tunnel out this way. Nice. All right, we're gonna save here for tonight, and this is where we're calling it for now. I think I have a better idea of where to go going forward next time, but yeah. So maybe on Monday I'll just continue playing this, and maybe we'll bounce off of a bit more of Uncertain Suns and Burning Chrome or something like that. But this has been Pseudo-Regalia. Remember, next week it's going to be a bit looser, it's going to be a bit crazier. Stay tuned Sunday, we're still watching something on the Discord. But until then, y'all take care, have a good night.
Night, y'all. Rest easy.